from the outside, it appeared as if the Spears sisters were thriving at one point. Like you kind of said, like things at one point.
I forget that.
Yeah, like no, it really did. Like outside world, your sister was the biggest pop star in the world. Your acting career is taking off. Meanwhile, your mom was struggling to manage both of your careers. Your dad is in and out of your life. And at one point, your sister offered to buy your mom a house in order to get your mom away from your dad.
Yeah.
How did that plan backfire?
I was really confused by that. Now looking back, like, what a weird fucking thing to do.
And can you explain when you say what a weird thing to do? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, I don't know why. Like, it seems like a weird thing to be like, I'll give you a house if you divorce dad. And why would your kid be able to tell you that? Already these dynamics are messed up. And that was where I think, too, my dynamics were kind of effed up because, like, my sister's paying bills, but I was a kid. I didn't have a choice where I put my head or where I slept at. Like, what am I going to do? Like, tell mom I'm not sleeping here? Well, then guess what? You're sleeping on the street? Like, What do you mean? You know, like, I had no choice over that. But it was confusing to me. I was like, wait, so they're getting a divorce because my sister said she's going to be. Like, can you imagine, like, the mess going on in my head?
You're like, so Brittany said she'll buy you a house if you get divorced. So you're taking the house, you're getting the divorce, but then they get the divorce, and you said they might as well not even got divorced because nothing showing up at the house that she bought to avoid the dad. Like, it was like,
me and my mom still argue about this. Like, dad was there the first night we stayed in the house. I'm like, I'm telling you he was. And mama says, no, he wasn't. I said, yes, he was. So I'm like, so is Brittany gonna be mad because dad's here? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, so then I'm like, who am I supposed to? What am I supposed to? But I just remember like feeling like, what is up and what is down?
It's a very weird financial dynamic when a child starts to be the breadwinner.
I will always say this though, like my dad did always have a problem with that. So like he always, you know, that he didn't want to live in that house because Brittany had paid for it. He didn't like that. I guess that was just the dynamic. I don't know. Yeah. But I remember just being really confused by all of it.
As I think a lot of people would be.
I mean, maybe I still am. I don't know.
You're working on Zoe 101 at one point in your life, and you and your mom relocate from Louisiana to California.
Yeah.
Who paid for the apartment you and your mom lived in?
Usually, like, the network will give you a relocation fee. It's never enough to cover, like, being there the whole time. But it's something. So, I mean, I always paid for the apartments that we were in.
Okay.
Which didn't seem that odd, I guess, because, like, we were there for my work. But at the same time, that created a really unhealthy dynamic. Because I'm like, I'm paying the bills. Why do I have to listen to you?
How was your money that you were making off Zoe 101 and all that, like, distributed within, like, your family? Like, how was it explained to you? Like, where was your money going? Did you get an allowance? Like, how did it work for you?
I remember that my money was very much something, like, in the beginning that I just kind of didn't think that much about because I was a kid. And that I was like, awesome, I get to do what I love, and that's all I thought about. When we went into the Zoe stuff, I was making a much bigger salary, numbers that I noticed and also was older and could understand, like, wow, of course I thought then, you know, you make that money, it's all yours.
Right.
You know, like, whoa, what was I wrong? Whoa. And so I did. I had like an allowance, I think it was like $500 for like maybe every 2 weeks or something, which is, I think was for what I was making for what I was working was like maybe reasonable. I'm not sure. Who really knows?
You start to kind of mention, like, again, you're so young, and you mentioned that you would notice, like, your sister having these episodes. Being that young, how in your mind were you defining an episode?
There was understandably a lot she was dealing with.
Right.
Who would be perfect? You know, like, I just thought, like, once all this shit stops, everything will go back to normal. That's kind of what I thought.
Okay.
And I just justified it as that way. Like, I didn't know or understand anything else, and maybe I didn't want to deal with it. It's not my place to speak on what it is someone else is dealing with or how they're dealing with it, but I am allowed to say how things affect me, and they did affect me, and that shouldn't be diminished. So for me, it just felt like, oh, I really wish all this shit could stop so I could have a normal existence.
So it would be like if she was just like, there was just a lot happening with her acting differently in a moment, and it would affect you, and then you would be waiting for it to go back to normal.
My mom would fly off a lot and be like, something happened with Brittany or whatever.
Okay.
Those were me in my head justifying it as, maybe I don't know all the details, but something's happened.
Okay.
She needs me there. And it was like, that was kind of more so what I saw. And I think because I was the baby, like, nothing was ever directed at me.
Yeah.
I was still kind of insulated by, like, she's the baby. it was just kind of like, mom's going to be with her again because something happened or whatever. Maybe there was some arguing or some yelling, and I would just be like really like immersed up. Like I had a friend over, and like I would just be embarrassed by it or whatever, you know. But I was such a young kid at the time, like I was kind of like self-centered still, as we all are as like young kids. So I just wanted like my family to act fucking normal. That was it.
In February of 2007, Britney Spears was harassed and followed by the paparazzi, and they documented her through the window of a barbershop as she shaved her head. How did you find out?
Well, I know exactly I had been at a basketball game cheerleading because I was a cheerleader. And we got home, and my friends, like, that's back when you, like, went on, like, the blogs, you know, and stuff. And they were like, oh my God, Jamilyn, do you want to see this? And I was like, what do you mean? And I almost felt like one of my friends took enjoyment out of it. And like, I didn't like that. I remember being more pissed off about that. And I was by myself. I didn't have my mom or my daddy. Like, they were there trying to help her. And so like, I was by myself, and I had to pretend like it didn't bother me. So
you found out because your friend pulled up a blog post?
Or like a picture or something.
And your parents were with Britney? Like, went to go
I don't even remember talking to them about it.
You didn't even talk to your parents?
I'm sure I did, but I don't remember.
Were you surprised?
I just wanted to be with her, you know? But then, too, like, I didn't want to, like, give anybody the satisfaction of, I just remember seeing it. I remember, like, all I wanted to do was, like, just go home and get my own bed. Like, I just had to stay at my friend's house.
You had to stay at your friend's house?
Because they were out of town. Like, my mom was out of town. And so I just had to be like, hey, like, that's like, I don't even know what I said. I can't recall.
Like,
maybe
deflect.
Yeah, like, I guess I just kind of acted like it wasn't that big of a deal. But it was a huge deal. And obviously I was just like, oh, I don't want to go to school tomorrow. And I would go to basketball games and like the whole student section would like sing stuff from other school and stuff to me, and like, not that, like, that's not the end of the world. Like, I don't want pity, that's the whole thing, but I just think that like these were things that happened that like I just like I need to acknowledge that we're not that great or fun. And I just remember like sitting in my stupid little blue cheerleader outfit, being like, I was like, you know, like it's like when somebody tells you something, you try to act like it doesn't bother you, but it really hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
It was like my stomach was like, I was just like, oh my God.
And you're trying to like just like deflect, like, oh, that's weird, like, oh, that's like.
And I was like, oh my God, like, oh, like, I don't even know what I said. Like, I don't even recall, but I know it was my friend saying, did you do a shower? I can remember him, and I was like, what is it? Like, I didn't understand.
After that, did you get to call your parents? Like, when did
I don't even remember. I don't think I did. I don't even know what we talked about. I have no idea. I keep trying to remember right now, even, like, and this is a lot of time while I was writing the book, I had to call my mom and be like, Mom, I can't remember, did this happen this way? Fact checking myself, because I was like, I couldn't remember things sometimes. It was all coming apart.
Yeah.
And I was like, gonna sit here and grin and bear it like I was taught to, you know?
After that, do you remember where were you at with your sister?
I really, like, this part in, like, my life, I think I just really disconnected myself from it. But I do know that, like, obviously that's where most of my family's concern was and maybe should have been. But, like, there were things that, like, I see to this day that I'm like, I don't remember those pictures. I don't remember those things. It was like, I was kind of like at home, like by myself, like kind of figuring it out. Like, I wish I had somebody to talk to about it, you know? What was I going to do? Talk to my 8th grade friends and be like, or 9th grade friends and be like, oh yeah, like,
no.
What do I say? And I just remember, like, I just would walk into the hallways and be like, just walk in this hallway anyway. Yeah. I didn't want to. And teachers would sometimes make comments. It was just, like, not cool. But this was my childhood experience. And this was what I went through.
You're a 16-year-old kid, and you discover you're pregnant. How did you find out?